At 94, Angie Dickinson is finally spilling the truth about Ricky Nelson, and her story goes way deeper than anyone imagined. Born Angeline Brown on September 30th, 1931 in Calm, North Dakota, Angie came from humble beginnings during the harsh days of the Great Depression. Her dad, a newspaper editor and publisher, passed down to her a quick wit, a love for learning, and a sharp sense of curiosity about everything around her. When the family packed up and moved to California, everything changed for Angie. Her world suddenly expanded, new faces, new dreams, and a new fire inside her that couldn't be ignored. Even though she didn't plan on becoming a Hollywood star, fate clearly had other plans. She studied business and drama at Glendale Community College and later at Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles, just trying to find her path.
Then I didn't want to be just a sex symbol. I wanted to be an actress.
Then, out of nowhere, a beauty contest opened doors she never expected. Her first television appearance in the early 1950s caught attention fast, landing her a contract with Columbia Pictures, and just like that, she was thrust into the golden age of Hollywood when studios ruled everything. But Angie wasn't like the rest. Sure, she had the looks, that classic, timeless beauty everyone talked about, but it was her charm and intelligence that really set her apart. She had this natural warmth and confidence that made people feel like they actually knew her, not just admired her from the screen. Throughout the 1950s, she climbed steadily from small, forgettable roles to major ones that showed her real talent. Then came the big break, Howard Hawks' Rio Bravo in 1959, where she lit up the screen alongside legends John Wayne and Dean Martin. That was the moment Angie Dickinson stopped being just another pretty face and became Hollywood royalty.
Goal of what I wanted to be, and that would have helped me, but I did not. I just struggled to get the A's, to get through high school, to get a scholarship to go to college, and it would have been nice to have. Now I wish I had wanted to be a writer, but I didn't then.
As Feathers, the confident and irresistibly bold saloon singer, Angie Dickinson lit up the screen with a mix of charm and fire that nobody saw coming. She played a woman who could stand toe-to-toe with powerful men, strong, clever, and full of confidence, yet never lost that touch of grace or independence that made her unforgettable. That role didn't just make her a star, it carved her name into Hollywood history, showing the world she could blend strength and sensitivity like nobody else. Through the 1960s, Angie wasn't slowing down for anyone. She bounced from one genre to another, dramas, westerns, comedies, and thrillers, proving she couldn't be boxed in. Whether it was Ocean's 11 in 1960, The Killers in 1964, or Point Blank in 1967, she brought a new energy to every role, taking chances that most actresses wouldn't dare.
I was not a happy camper in a marriage. It should never have been. It was totally mismatched. That's what you did in the 50s. You just kind of automatically got married.
Each movie showed a new side of Angie, fearless, unpredictable, and totally captivating. In Point Blank, her chemistry with Lee Marvin was electric. Her performance was layered, cool and controlled on the surface, yet full of hidden emotion and depth underneath. It was a perfect reflection of the new era of American cinema, darker, sharper, and more real. Angie adapted like a pro, showing she could shine just as bright in the gritty modern stories of the late 60s as she had in the glamorous studio films of the 50s. And just when people thought she'd peaked, Angie took over television and made history. In 1974, she starred in Policewoman, becoming the first woman ever to lead a hit TV drama as a police officer. At a time when women were usually cast as side characters or love interests, Angie broke barriers and did it with style, strength, and a whole lot of attitude.
At last I know where I want to go in my life. I want to be in this business. I mean, I was not stupid. Anybody else would have done the same thing. See,
Angie Dickinson's portrayal of Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in Policewoman was straight-up revolutionary. She brought a rare mix of power, brains, and real emotion, playing a woman who could command any room with confidence but still show heart when it mattered most. She wasn't just acting, she was redefining what it meant to see a strong woman on TV. The show became a massive hit, shaking up the entertainment world and leaving a permanent mark on pop culture. Her role didn't just entertain, it inspired. Policewoman kicked open the door for every female-led crime drama that came after, giving future actresses the confidence to take charge on screen. As time went on, Angie became more selective about her projects, choosing roles that truly challenged her. One standout was Dressed to Kill in 1980, a daring thriller that introduced her to a whole new generation of fans. That film reminded everyone why Angie was a legend. She wasn't afraid to take risks or dive into controversial stories if it meant pushing her craft further. Even as Hollywood started shifting and opportunities for women her age began to fade, Angie stayed respected and admired by everyone who worked with her. She built her legacy not on fame alone, but on authenticity and class. She didn't cling to the past. She let her incredible body of work do the talking, proving she had nothing left to prove. Then came another shocker, the 1993 ABC miniseries Wild Palms, produced by Oliver Stone. Angie took on one of her darkest roles yet, playing the ruthless, militant sister of Senator Tony Zurr, portrayed by Robert Loggia with icy intensity. Her performance was haunting, cold, commanding, and unforgettable. She stripped away every trace of her earlier Hollywood glamour and embraced a character so chilling it showed a whole new side of her brilliance. Angie Dickinson's presence in Wild Palms hit like a shockwave. She brought a raw emotional edge and deep moral tension that lingered long after the credits rolled. Her performance didn't just grab attention, it cemented her reputation as an actress who never played it safe and wasn't scared to dive straight into the most controversial stories out there. That same year, Angie took another bold leap, this time in Gus Van Sant's Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Playing a cold, cutthroat Montana spa owner, she went toe-to-toe with Uma Thurman in one of the strangest, most unpredictable films of the decade. While the movie had an eccentric vibe and a wild sense of humor, Angie's performance sliced through the chaos, sharp, fierce, and unforgettable. She embodied pure power, privilege, and cruelty, and she did it with such confidence that audiences couldn't look away. Her character was both fascinating and frightening, and Angie owned every second of it.
Instead of softening her performance, she went all in, embracing the role's extremes and once again proving she wasn't there to please anyone's expectations. She thrived on creative risks, showing the world she still had the guts to go places others wouldn't. And while many stars her age were playing it safe, Angie stood out, fearless, independent, and completely in control of her own image. Then came the moment that really showed her unbreakable spirit. In November that same year, she made headlines when she suddenly walked off the set of a planned This Is Your Life TV special meant to honor her career. She refused to be part of something that felt fake or sentimental. Angie wasn't about to let anyone twist her story for ratings. That bold move became a defining moment, proving once again that she lived life on her own terms, no scripts, no sugarcoating, and absolutely no compromises. Angie Dickinson's career didn't slow down one bit as she rolled into the mid-1990s. She just kept proving she could do it all. In 1995, legendary director Sidney Pollack cast her in Sabrina, the modern remake of Billy Wilder's beloved classic. Playing the sharp and commanding prospective mother-in-law of Greg Kinnear, Angie delivered her lines with class, confidence, and just the right touch of bite. With her perfect timing and quiet authority, she turned what could have been a simple supporting role into something unforgettable. A reminder that even in a romantic comedy starring Harrison Ford, Angie could still steal the spotlight. That same year, she switched gears completely, taking on a darker turn as Burt Reynolds' wife in the psychological thriller The Maddening. Her performance added a deep emotional punch to the story, making the tension feel real and raw. And if that wasn't enough, she also showed her lighter side as the sharp-tongued mother of Rick Aiello and Robert Cini in National Lampoon's The Don's Analyst. Jumping between heavy drama and wild comedy, Angie proved once again that her range was unmatched. She could be intense one minute and hilarious the next, all while keeping her signature confidence shining through. By 1997, she was still surprising audiences, this time lighting up HBO's hit series The Larry Sanders Show. In the cleverly titled episode, Artie and Angie and Hank and Hercules, she reunited with Rip Torn's Artie, playing an old flame whose spark definitely hadn't faded. Their chemistry was electric, full of nostalgia, charm, and that unmistakable Angie energy. Her performance balanced humor and heart so perfectly that fans couldn't look away. Even decades into her career, Angie Dickinson remained a total powerhouse, mysterious, magnetic, and endlessly watchable. Whether she was playing tough, tender, or teasing, one thing never changed. When Angie was on screen, everyone paid attention. Angie Dickinson's personal life had all the layers of a Hollywood story: glamour, heartbreak, ambition, and strength. In 1952, she tied the knot with Gene Dickinson, a former college football star who later built a solid career in the fast-growing world of electronics. On the surface, their marriage looked picture-perfect, a golden couple built for long-term happiness. But behind the scenes, the reality was far more complicated. Both Angie and Gene were driven by their own dreams, and over time, those ambitions pulled them in different directions. By 1956, they had quietly separated, even though their marriage wouldn't officially end until 1960. The distance between them wasn't marked by drama or scandal, just the slow fade that happens when two people grow into separate worlds. Yet even after the split, Angie made a choice that said everything about who she was. She kept his last name. That wasn't about sentiment. It was about identity and stability in an industry that expected women to reinvent themselves after every change. She stood her ground, showing she didn't need to start over just because life shifted. While Hollywood kept calling, Angie's world was expanding in unexpected ways. She built a close, intellectually rich friendship with the respected economist John Kenneth Galbraith and his wife, Catherine Galbraith. Through them, she stepped into a world of sharp minds, global politics, and deep cultural conversations, far removed from the glitz and chaos of movie sets. Her time with the Galbraiths, especially during John's tenure as U.S. ambassador to India, changed her perspective completely. Traveling, observing, and engaging with new ideas gave Angie a sense of depth and awareness that would stay with her for life. It showed another side of her, not just the Hollywood icon, but the woman behind the fame who was curious, thoughtful, and constantly evolving. Angie Dickinson's adventures beyond Hollywood weren't just glamorous, they were deeply eye-opening. Her travels and conversations during those years were so powerful that they ended up vividly detailed in John Kenneth Galbraith's memoirs, Ambassador's Journal, and A Life in Our Times. In those pages, Angie doesn't appear as just some celebrity guest. She shines as a thoughtful, curious woman fully engaged in the world of diplomacy, culture, and global change. She wasn't just observing history, she was living it. Then, in 1965, Angie stepped into another major chapter of her life when she married the brilliant composer Burt Bacharach, one of the biggest music icons of the 20th century. Their union was a union of two creative forces at their peak, a Hollywood legend and a music genius, both chasing perfection in their art. For 16 years, they shared a life full of passion, fame, and artistic fire, all while facing the intense pressures that come with being in the public eye. But even the strongest partnerships can hit rough patches. As time went on, their relationship became more complicated. They spent periods apart, both dating other people, yet somehow their connection never fully broke. It lasted far longer than most Hollywood love stories, a sign of a bond that, though flawed, was real and rooted in something deep. On July 12, 1966, Angie and Burt welcomed their daughter, Nikki, a moment that changed everything. Nikki was born with autism, and her challenges tested the both of them in ways few could imagine. Back then, understanding of autism was limited, and support systems were scarce, which made their journey even harder. Angie devoted herself to being there for her daughter with love and patience, even as she balanced a demanding career and public life. Sadly, Nikki's struggles continued into adulthood, and her passing in 2007 was a heartbreak that Angie carried quietly for the rest of her life. It was a devastating loss, one that revealed the deep pain often hidden behind a dazzling public image. When Burt Bacharach passed away in 2023, it closed the final chapter on their intertwined story, a story filled with creativity, love, heartbreak, and resilience. Despite all the pain and pressure, Angie Dickinson's strength never faded. She faced every joy and tragedy with the same grace that defined her from the very start. Now, at 94, Angie Dickinson speaks with a raw honesty that only a lifetime of experience can give. The old Hollywood shine may have faded, but what's left is something even more powerful: truth, wisdom, and emotion stripped of all glamour. When she finally opens up about Ricky Nelson, she doesn't do it with gossip or regret. She does it with heart, compassion, and a calm understanding that comes from decades of reflection. People always wanted to turn everything into a romance, Angie says softly, her voice steady but full of feeling. But what Ricky and I shared was more complicated and more meaningful than that. Her words hit deep. When Angie and Ricky crossed paths in the early 1960s, they were both stars, but standing in very different kinds of spotlights. Angie was already a respected actress, known for her brains as much as her beauty, while Ricky was America's golden boy, a teen idol with that picture-perfect smile and a voice that defined an entire generation. He was adored, she recalls, with a mix of pride and sadness. But that kind of adoration can be a prison, especially when you're so young. The whispers back then focused on their age gap, but Angie insists people got it all wrong. The real difference between them wasn't about years, it was about life experience. Ricky had been famous since childhood, she explains. I don't think people understood how much that took from him. He never really had the chance to figure out who he was, not without an audience watching him. Behind the charming smile and stage presence, Angie saw something few ever did: a thoughtful, quiet, and deeply introspective man who carried more weight on his shoulders than anyone realized. Her words don't expose a scandal, they reveal a truth filled with empathy and grace. What she remembers isn't a forbidden love story, but a genuine connection between two souls trying to survive under the glare of fame. He was sweet and polite, almost old-fashioned, but there was a sadness there, a loneliness. I saw it right away, Angie Dickinson recalls, her voice soft but steady. She remembers Ricky Nelson not as a superstar, but as a man caught between the spotlight and his own soul. Ricky was constantly battling expectations. Everyone wanted him to stay the smiling teen idol, but deep down, he wanted to evolve, to be taken seriously as a real artist and as a person. There was no agenda, no manipulation, Angie says firmly, just two people talking, laughing, trying to understand each other in a world that never slowed down for anyone. Their connection wasn't some Hollywood stunt. It was genuine, real, and deeply human. She pauses before adding, I think I may have been someone he could talk to honestly, and that honesty became the quiet thread that tied them together even after life pulled them in different directions. Years went by, but Angie never forgot him. Ricky was a warning, she admits. Fame can freeze you in time. It can stop you from growing if you're not careful. When Ricky Nelson tragically died in 1985, the news shook her to the core. It felt unfinished, she says softly, like he never got the chance to live the life he truly wanted, and that breaks my heart to this day. Even now, at 94, Angie Dickinson speaks with tenderness, not regret. Ricky wasn't weak, she explains. He was sensitive, and sensitivity can be dangerous in a world that rewards image over truth. She smiles sadly, her eyes carrying decades of wisdom and loss. I just hope people remember him for his talent and for the human being behind the fame. Time may have stripped away the Hollywood myths, but what remains is powerful.
memory, meaning, and truth. In finally sharing her story, Angie Dickinson doesn't rewrite history, she humanizes it. Her words remind us that behind every legend is a person just trying to be understood. If you felt moved by Angie's story, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's keep these unforgettable Hollywood memories alive.